Turbo Granny's speed is so crazy in Dandadan, it literally breaks physics. Turbo Granny's speed isn't just terrifying, it's lethal. Not to her victims, to her. Because if real-world physics had any say in this story, she wouldn't be chasing teenagers through the tunnel, cursing them and grabbing their family jewels. She'd be just a pile of ashes. Let me show you why Turbo Granny, one of Dandadan's most famous yokai, shouldn't even exist, and what her survival says about the terrifying science hiding behind her big googly eyes. Let's break it down. When Turbo Granny appears, it's chaos. Walls blur, reality bends. Her signature traits? Asking the victims for a sprint race and her unreal speed. She moves with such ferocity that she leaves after images, like a VHS tape playing at double speed while someone hits rewind. At first glance, it feels like typical anime exaggeration, until you look closer. To create visible after images from motion blur alone, she'd need to move faster than a race car. Even faster. Try jet speed. Let's do the numbers. The Olympic sprinters run at 20 miles per hour. Cheetahs top out around 70. Turbo Granny, easily pushing 100 to 200 miles per hour just based on the visual distortion. And that's me being conservative. At those speeds, she shouldn't be scary. She should be a pile of dust. But why her speed should destroy her? Here's where physics shows up and politely flips the table. The moment anything with mass moves that fast through air, it hits three major problems: air resistance, friction, and g-forces. 1. At 100 miles per hour, every molecule of air becomes a bullet. The faster you go, the more they push back and the more they tear at you. Even fighter jets use specialized design to reduce drag. But what about human bodies? Yeah, not so aerodynamic. Turbo Granny, in her loose kimono and grinning skull, would be shredded mid-chase. 2. The faster you move, the hotter things get. Rubbing your hands together warms them up. That's friction. Multiply that rubbing speed by a few hundred miles per hour, and now you're talking about enough heat to melt plastic or set cloth on fire. Turbo Granny should burst into flames the moment she takes off. Her kimono would ignite. Her skin would just burn to crisps. Every sprint should end her becoming a fireball. 3. It's not just speed, it's acceleration. When Turbo Granny zips around a corner, it's not gentle. It's a whiplash-inducing, bone-snapping pivot that would liquefy the organs of a normal person. Fighter pilots train to endure 9 Gs with special suits. Even then, they can black out or suffer brain damage. Formula 1 drivers endures up to 10 Gs. Turbo Granny casually pulls 60 plus Gs every time she moves. If she was a human, she'd be a sack of pulp by the first turn. So, how is she still alive? Simple. She isn't bound by our physics. Turbo Granny is a yokai, a supernatural being pulled from Japanese folklore, and like many yokai, she looks human but isn't. Her body moves with a jerky, floaty quality. She bends in ways humans don't. Sometimes she warps space around her. These aren't glitches in the animation, they're clues. So is there any explanation why she's so jerky, floaty? Yes, there is. She's not solid, she's something else. One theory: she's not made of solid matter at all. Her body behaves like aerogel, a bizarre substance that's 99.8% air. It's lighter than a feather, but weirdly solid to the touch. More importantly, it doesn't react to friction or pressure the same way traditional matter does. Turbo Granny might be built from similar physics-breaking material. Minimal mass, minimal inertia. That's why she can stop on a dime and jolt forward like FIFA on a dying laptop. Freezing, stuttering, then teleporting 5 steps ahead. Another possibility? She's phase shifted, meaning, think of a ghost that occasionally snaps into physical space just long enough to make you scream. It's a common trait in yokai folklore, appearing as physical beings but defying physical rules. But there's another important question that needs to be answered. How she manages to go that fast without becoming a Japanese ghost rider? To answer that, let's talk thermodynamics in layman terms for a sec. To move that fast without overheating, she needs to get rid of heat fast. What if she's not just surviving friction, but feeding on it? Hear me out. Some yokai are said to feed on life force or warmth. Turbo Granny might absorb ambient heat and convert it into motion like a living heat engine. In real science, heat engines power everything from cars to jet planes by turning thermal energy into kinetic energy. That just means turning heat into movement. Turbo Granny might be doing something similar, but on a supernatural scale. She chills the room because she's stealing its heat. That's what fuels her. therefore cooling her body and thus not becoming a Japanese Ghost Rider. Or maybe she's not moving at all. This is just my theory, but just hear me out. It will make sense. Now here's the real mind bender. What if she's not actually that fast? What if she's just making you think she is? The human brain processes time in snapshots. Mess with that timing, like speed it up, slow it down, and you can create the illusion of speed. In nerd lingo, it's called subjective time dilation. In extreme fear or adrenaline spikes, your brain enters a hyperperceptive state. Everything feels like it's in slow motion. Turbo Granny might be forcing that state onto her victims, not by moving faster, but by hijacking their perception. She's hacking your brain, not breaking the sound barrier. That's why there's no sonic booms heard, no windows shatter, and no one else sees it happen except the victim. It's not the world that's moving fast, it's you who's slowing down. Why this makes her even scarier. If Turbo Granny was just a fast ghost, that'd be scary enough. But this is worse. She's either defying every law of physics, or she's rewriting how your mind experiences reality. She weaponizes your perception against you. She doesn't chase you through the streets. She traps you in a nightmare of distorted time, burning air, and impossible movement, and makes you watch, second by stretched out second, as she closes in and grabs your family treasures. If you thought this was wild, just wait until you watch this next video on unbelievable biology of Pikachu and similar anime videos infused with science. Other than that, take care and stay sharp.